Hello, and welcome back to the Physical Therapy San Pedro podcast. This is episode 43, and we are discussing injuries, 10 things that you need to know if you are navigating or struggling with an injury. I am your host, Dr. Janae Brown, and I am joined by my amazing team. To my left is
Dr. Bay.
And to my right,
Dr. Yana.
All right, so let's dive in. I decided to write this blog post because I feel like these are things I say to my patients every single day. And it's the sauce. It's what makes us different, the sauce. It makes us different. It makes our team a little different. And we generally, because we're on the team together, agree on a lot of these things and kind of approach our patients and our clients with these messages. So we're hoping by the end of this discussion with you that you will come away with some tools and resources, things that can help you navigate your injury a little easier so that you can feel more confident as you're working through your injury. So I'm going to start with the very first thing on our top 10 list of what I think is important for you to know. So the first thing is that the body is amazing at healing. And well, I mean, that's just a statement in itself. The body is amazing at healing. If you give the body the right things and you give it the right tools, I believe the body will heal. And if it didn't, then all of three of us would not have a job because it is why we have a job. We trust the body's ability to heal. And we trust that if we do things the right way, then we put the right recipe together, that any injury could potentially heal. Now, there are times when we need a little help, and that's what surgery is. There are times when something breaks and it won't seal back the way it broke, like a comminuted fracture or something like that. Mm-hmm. You're going to need some extra support. But even with that, like when we do surgery, the body will heal. Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to trust your body, trust that your body can heal, and give it the time to do so, because it takes time to heal, but the body can heal. So do you guys have anything to add on that?
No, I definitely 100 agree with that. Mm-hmm. The body is super amazing. The more we learn about it, the more I'm amazed. And then in terms of the ability to heal, I'm super jealous of our youth.
It's true.
They can heal so fast.
It's true. Yeah. And I'm dealing with that in my early 40s, that it's like one thing after another. I'm like, oh, now it's my ankle. Now it's my knee. Something's always like nagging or something, but the body will heal. Like,
definitely.
Yeah. As you get older, it does get your injury frequency, if you're an athlete or you're working out or you're active, increases, but the body will heal. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm always seeing progress as much as I have the same nagging things.
Yeah.
Working on the same things I would give my patients for myself.
Yeah. What about you, Dr. Yana?
I also think it's like a nature and nurture thing. So not only is time a factor, but also being in the right environment with the right specialists.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So the body will heal. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. We love it. We're in the body healing world.
Yes, that is our world.
Dr. Pai, give us number 2.
Number 2 on the list of things we need to know about injury is consistency is key. So when you are ready to help yourself recover from an injury, it's work. It's not just all of a sudden you're going to be better. We're going to, as physical therapists, when our patients come in, we're going to lay out the pathway, and you have to be consistent. You have to attend your appointments. You have to do your home program. And we can tell when patients aren't being consistent, the progress just is not there in the same way that it would be. I often recommend that if you're not ready to do the work and stay consistent, that it's not time to try to rehab yourself or recover yet. You definitely need to commit. And then just as we refer back to number 1, the body is amazing at healing. The body will do its thing. It will follow. When you stay consistent, listen to your body, communicate well, all those things will line up and you'll see great progress.
Yeah. So basically, Dr. Bay is saying, don't start if you're not going to commit, right? If you're not willing to show up and do the work, then just don't even start yet. Start when you're ready, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on that, Dr. Yana?
Yeah, I feel like with any other thing in life, like in order to reach your goals, you have to do small, good, like small daily habits. So that's what's going to help you reach the goals. It's not like you can't expect to go from 0 to 100 without,
Mhm.
putting in the work. So
Mhm.
you just really want to make sure you're at a spot in your life that you have the time to commit to PT, so that you can see the results
Yeah.
and avoid being frustrated.
Yep. And a lot of times the reason why you're not successful with PT, or if you've ever had a time when you're saying to yourself, PT didn't work, I've heard that before.
Mhm.
One of my first questions is, well, how consistent were you? Did you go twice a week? How long did you go for? Did you go, twice a week for 3 weeks and that's it? Did you do did you do what you're supposed to do at home? Were you consistent with your home program? Did you do the things that we asked you to do? So consistency is not just showing up into the clinic with your physical therapist, but it's also doing your homework and making sure you're doing the small things at home so that we can keep the things that we do in one-on-one in person moving a little quicker as well. So that's, I think, another big piece.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Then completing the process,
Yep.
going all the way to discharge.
Oh, that's I should have put that as a number 11. I'm just kidding.
Don't stop till
Don't
you say
stop.
you're done.
That'll be part 2.
Yeah. Get to the finish line. Okay, Dr. Yana, give us number 3.
All right. So number 3, when it comes to navigating injuries, is rehab is not linear. A lot of people have the idea that when they start PT, it should just look like, going up, 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 no setbacks whatsoever. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. Just because you do experience a few setbacks, that doesn't necessarily mean we're not doing the correct things with you, or you're not, or something you're doing is wrong. It's just to be expected because also depending on what phase of rehab you're in, maybe in the beginning you experience like up and up consistently. And then when it becomes a little more, when you're here for a longer time and we start advancing the exercises, you might experience setbacks because that's harder work on your body, something you're not used to doing before. So being sore, not usually the end of the world.
Mhm.
So yes, so it's not always, you should expect when it comes to PT to, have it look more like this.
Mhm.
But in the end, you will be up here.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, and I think also one of the reasons that it's not linear too is that we have to try things, right? We have to try things that you want to try and do, and sometimes we just don't know. I mean, we're not wizards, right?
Mhm.
So we're like, okay, we've done a little bit of running prep in the clinic and we've done things, and you feel good with footwork and you feel good with these running things, and then we did a little jog here that felt great. Okay, now I want you to go out and run half a mile on your own. And depending on the circumstances, maybe that didn't feel good and you come back and you have a little setback. But the thing that I think is important about why it's not linear is that you don't always go all the way back. So it may not be linear. You might have a little bit of setback, but it's gonna keep going up. It's still going up.
Mhm.
It doesn't typically go down unless you do something really bad, like you return back to sport and don't tell us and tear your ACL. That is a no-no, right? That's when it's not linear. That's when it's going downward. But it's gonna have its turbulence and along the way, because we got to try stuff and we got to see what you can do, and we don't always 100% know. So we do our best, Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the body is always changing.
Mhm.
And then it's our job as PTs to check in. That's why I'm so big. If you see me practicing, I'm always rechecking ranges. How does this look? How does that feel, right? Because this is a common one I have with a lot of my patients right now is as they get stronger in a muscle, it also gets less flexible.
Mhm.
So then we have to step back and focus more on mobility because maybe something has started to get a little achy because of that loss of flexibility. So it's like this constant battle. We're always reassessing, making changes.
Mhm.
You don't show up and do the same thing for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
We're making progressions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Well, that takes us into number 4, which is there are a lot of things that you can do. And so I think when people are rehabbing from an injury, they think it's black and white. Like I can't play soccer, so therefore I can't do anything. And I'm in rehab because I have an ankle sprain, so I can't go to the gym, and I won't be able to do anything for 3 months or 6 weeks or whatever you think it is. And that's not the case. There are a lot of things when you're rehabilitating from an injury that you can do. So if you're an athlete and you sprain your ankle, you better believe you better be in the gym doing benching and, upper body work, bicep curls, triceps. You better be doing lat pulls. You can do a lot of things. And in the beginning, those might all be seated because maybe you don't have good standing balance because your sprain's really bad. But eventually you can do those things standing. And eventually you'll be able to progress those things into more power work, like, push press and things like that. But the point is, you can do a lot of things when you're rehabbing from an injury. It's not black and white. And so what you need to do is find the things you can do. And even with that ankle sprain and that injury, you may not be able to run, but can you walk? Like, can you do walks and walks feel good? And can you get on the elliptical and that feels good? Can you bike? What are the things you can do even with that particular injury that feel good? It's our job to help you guys navigate that process. So when you come to PT, it's our job to go, okay, I know you need to be training still. So here's what you can do on your own. Here's what we're going to work on here. We need to support that process. Unfortunately, there's a lot of PTs that don't do that very well. But, it's important that we as PTs are supporting that process and making sure you really have a good knowledge base of what you can do. So keep your head up about that because it's not all or nothing. And there's a lot of things that you can do. Yeah. Any thoughts, guys, on that?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I like some of our colleagues share videos on Instagram, and I just love when they show someone's like in a walking boot, but all the things they're still doing to keep their body going when they're in that boot. That's one I always just think about when you talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's good stuff. Okay, Dr. Bay, give us number 5.
Avoiding aggravating activities. The body has a pain response for a reason. It's a way of communicating. And if we keep recreating that process, continually aggravating our injury, it makes it really hard for our healing process to take place. So, for example, the example Dr. Brown used in the blog is deadlifting. If deadlifting is bothering your back, then don't keep deadlifting the same weight. There's still, just like we said in number 4, there's things you can keep doing. You can lighten your load.
Modify.
You can change your range of motion. You can work harder on squats instead of deadlifts. You don't have to stop moving, but if you keep reproducing the exact same injury over and over again, you're just not going to make the progress that you want to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I think this whole blog is all about is how can healing take place, right? So you have to think back and say, what are all the steps I need to take to heal? And do not keep aggravating your injury over and over again. That's a big one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, like a lot of times people try to go back to that same thing, like you mentioned deadlifting, right? To accomplish the thing. But if you got injured like deadlifting, then your body probably doesn't like that particular thing right now, right? It might not like hinging. It actually might not like sitting. I had a personal injury where I over deadlifted. I put too much load on. I irritated my SI joint, and then it bothered me to sit. It bothered me to hinge. But you know what? I could run. Running felt great. I didn't have any back pain running, any irritation. I could squat. I could do pretty much every other movement, but it just anytime I had to hinge or sit or be in like a flex pat or where my was kind of flexed in the lower back, my body didn't like it. So I found other things to do. I gave my body time and I kept checking in with my hinging, like, how's it feel now? How's it feel now? And when it felt good enough, I started practicing hinging, and then I started loading my bar again, and then I loaded my load. So, and it's a lot of times it doesn't take a long time. It could be like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So you got to give yourself that time, but don't do the thing that your body doesn't like. It's telling you it doesn't like it. Doesn't mean it's forever. It means right now, I don't want to do that because you hurt me doing that, and I need to stop. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Yana, number 6.
Number 6. So super important that you make sure you're partnering with the right team. There are a lot of specialists DPTs as well as chiropractors and personal trainers who all work with bodies, but not everybody is created equal. It's recommended to do your research so you are partnering with somebody that you know for a fact, can help you get better. You want to ask questions, that's for sure, in the beginning before you commit to doing any type of, rehab work. And you want to make sure your PT is also planning and spending the time with you in your sessions. doing a thorough job of evaluating you, and then setting up your plan of care and progressing you with your treatment sessions. Overall, you do want to see yourself progressing week to week. And if you're seeing more declines than, inclines, you might want to consider looking elsewhere or somebody else to partner with.
Yeah, it's good. And I think, like you said, not all PTs are created equal. Not all, sometimes people say, like, I'll talk to someone and say, I hurt my shoulder. And I'm like, oh, where are you getting treatment at? Well, I'm working with my chiropractor. I'm like, oh, does your chiropractor rehab shoulders? Like, they know how to like rehab a rotator cuff tear back to someone throwing and playing football again? Mm-hmm. They don't know. They're like, well, they adjust me, they stretch me, and I get a massage and then I leave. Yeah, that's not rehabbing an injury, right? Rehabbing an injury has to involve exercise, right? Because we have to ask the muscles to work, stabilize. We need to move it through load. And so even some typical PT clinics don't have the tools in place, right, to be able to do some of that stuff and return back to sport. So it is important that you're partnering with the right team. If you're whoever you're working with, ask them those questions. Have you ever rehabbed a rotator cuff tear of a baseball player before? Because I play baseball and I want to make sure I get back. Have you done this before? It doesn't hurt to ask, and you want to make sure that you're working with someone who can really help you get back to where you're going. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's why we specialize here.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the most challenging parts of our job because, it's good to get care from a variety of specialists, right? But you also want to make sure everyone has the same end goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't, talk to them easily, we kind of have to rely on the patient to keep us updated on what they're doing outside of this clinic as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, back to me. The next one, number 7, is if you overdo it, don't overreact. So I think one of the biggest things I see with a lot of my clients is, I had a client call me yesterday. I've been doing great, and I went and walked a lot, at the Grand Prix over the weekend, mm-hmm. and I'm really sore and I'm really hurting. Okay, are you in pain today? No, I'm just sore. I think I overdid it. Okay, give your body a couple days. When you do something and you overdo it, or you do too much, the body is going to remember what you did last, and it's still rehabbing. It's still stronger than it was before. So the only way sometimes to know is to try things, and sometimes you're going to overdo it. That's part of our job. Sometimes when people come in here and they're like, I did this too much, or I was having fun, or I was with a bunch of guys and I just wanted to show that, my pride got in the way, my ego got in the way, and I lifted more than I should have. It's going to happen. We are human beings. It's human nature. We're going to do more than we probably should when we're feeling better, right? Mm-hmm. You feel good and you're like, let me try this. It's okay. It's as long as you didn't do something super traumatic, the body is going to heal. You give it a couple days, we will reassess it, and likely you're going to be back on that linear track. You'll be back upwards. Sometimes you need a couple days and you have a little bit of a setback. But just don't overreact, because it's not the end of the world, and we're going to get back on track. And you don't want to just stop doing everything. I think that's the other thing. If you don't have somebody on your team and you overdo something, and I would say this is kind of like what we call the weekend warrior syndrome, right? Sometimes where you do something too much and you haven't done it in a while. If you overdo something, don't overreact. Give your body a few days and then come back and see where you're at and check back in with that thing. So yeah. You guys have any thoughts on that? Any personal experience that you want to share on your patients overdoing it?
No, but to segue into my next one, I always tell my patients, okay, so you overdid it, but overdoers get better faster than underdoers.
That's true. So what's number 8, Dr. Bay?
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Don't underdo it.
That's right.
You never, like Dr. Brown said, you never discover you can do more unless you try to do more.
That's right. And this one's so important. We have a whole episode on this actually back in the day called Keep Moving. So go read that one.
Yeah, definitely. This is a common one we get is people think just rest means don't move. But we're here to teach you also that rest can be active, right? or we have other things that happen where patients maybe get sore after their evaluation or sore after they start their exercises and think, oh, I got sore. I shouldn't move. I just need to let it calm down, right?
Yep.
But the body loves to move.
Mm-hmm.
The body is built to move. The body is built to do amazing things. And when it doesn't move enough, it does not work well. We get weaker. It doesn't feel its best.
Mhm.
It's hard to keep the gains moving forward when we don't move.
That's right.
So just remember that, right? There's always something you can be doing. You can comply with your home exercises. You can ask us what is safe to do, but the answer is never, unless you've been instructed as a protocol.
Mhm.
The answer is never, don't move, okay?
Yeah.
As
Absolutely.
Dr. Brown writes in the blog, don't lay around and feel sorry for yourself. That got no one nowhere.
Facts.
So profound.
Literally.
I feel like that should be somewhere, like on a wall, or
You get t-shirts with that on there.
that got no one nowhere. Well, soreness, you brought up soreness, and
Yeah.
soreness is not pain, but Dr. Yana's going to take us right into
Mhm.
the next one, which deals with that. So, Dr. Yana, tell us what number 9 is.
All right. Number 9, no pain, no gain is not a thing in rehab.
Mm.
So a lot of patients are under the impression that pain is good. Like, I just got to push through it. And I'm here to tell you that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've learned, like I learned in PT school, it depends, very much applies to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it depends on what the patient's definition of pain is. If it's a patient that's not used to being super active, if they're doing exercises with us that they're not used to doing, they will more than likely feel soreness. But soreness is not exactly the same thing as pain. So with this point, this is kind of why I like to check in with my patients and kind of get a pain scale reading from them. So I'll always mean like on a scale of 0 to 10, like how challenging or how does this feel to you right now? And personally, I don't like to like go much over like a 6 out of 10 and stay under that. But again, so it's all about listening to your body, pushing through that pain. Like we mentioned before, it's not going to help you get better because you do want to avoid the aggravating activity. So it's about finding that like happy medium of not exacerbating it, but also not, making you not move at all. And then a big part of this also is the nervous system response. So when it feels angry or threatened, it's going to tell you. And if you keep pushing through that injury that you have is most likely not going to heal. So again, listen to your body. And if something feels too much, it's not always good to push through.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm more of a 3 out of 10 person. See, every PT has their own number, and this is with reps too. So if you forget how many reps you're doing, every PT has their own number that they go back to. So my number for pain is 3. I try not to like have my patients go above a 3 or 4. So it's like, and again, it depends on the patient, right? If it's a patient who has a very low pain tolerance, then, I'm better with the 4s and maybe touching the 5. But like for the most part, if someone has a good understanding of pain, and they're doing an activity, I try not to, it's really about letting them get irritable. So even if you don't ask them, because some people don't know how to rate pain very well, it's like, is this irritating you? As we keep going from like rep to rep, does this feel worse, better, the same? If they start with a little bit of discomfort and it stays that way, that's okay. But if they keep going and they're getting irritable rep to rep, then the reality is you're going to irritate them. And then everything they do after that is going to be irritable and doesn't even matter what you do. So the key, which is why you partner with someone who understands that, is to, not keep irritating yourself exercise to exercise in the rehab process. You want to not have pain that irritates you. Essentially, you want to feel the same or better as you go from one thing to the next. Yeah. What's your number?
I'm the most conservative.
Are you a 0 or 1 kind of person?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be like a 0 or 1, but then I thought, it's changed.
It definitely, like you're saying, is very person and situation dependent.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, in general, I do not like things to get more irritable throughout a session at all.
Yeah. Also, it's activity dependent, right? So for example, if we have like a patient who has like patellar tendonitis and we're asking them to do like a step down or a single leg squat. And with that, they have 4 or 5 out of 10 pain. That's different because you're actually irritating the thing that is the problem.
Yeah.
So you don't want pain there, right? But then if it's like, oh, I'm having it with something that's different, so it's case by case. We do have to take it case by case,
Right.
which is why you need a good PT on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it out. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're going to go into the last one, which is be patient with your progress. I think this is also just a really important one. We are not patient with progress. I had another patient come in this week who's having neck pain and, just had an injury and is like, can I go, pickleball's the thing right now. Can I go play pickleball on Thursday? It's 2 days from now. I'm like, no, you can't play pickleball yet. You can't move your neck. Like, it hurts to move. So you can need to hold off. Or I haven't been in the gym in a week. I get it. You want to go to the gym. Well, let's just feel a little bit better. And I'm going to, next session, I'll give you some things you can do so that you can go to the gym and feel good. But we need to figure out what that is. Because if you go and just do everything, you're going to have a worse situation. You're going to have a longer period of time of being in pain, a longer period of time of having limitation. So be patient with your progress. You will progress if you trust the person you're working with. If you have a good person on your team, the body needs time to heal. And even there are just certain timelines for tissue healing that we have to respect. We have to respect the time it takes, a tendon to heal after it's been injured, or a muscle to heal after it's been injured, or a bone. We just can't progress that process. We can't snap our fingers and make that, change. So respect that process. Don't rush it. Give your body the time it needs. Time is very important in healing. Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Anything to add?
Yeah, I just like to celebrate all the small wins. Just because we're not at the end goal doesn't mean that we haven't accomplished things that are really spectacular along the way and very important.
Yeah, some of my patients are really hard on themselves and just want to see progress all the time. But I like to remind them, like, you are making progress. Remember, like last week you were at this range. This week you improved by 5 degrees. That's actually pretty big. So be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah. And this week you can go up and down the stairs and you don't need to hold the handrail after your knee surgery. There's so many little things that you get from session to session that you just to remind yourself, you're not running yet, but you'll get there. Yeah. It's good. Okay. Well, I hope that you guys all got some tools and some confidence to help you navigate your injury and rehabilitate through your injury a little bit better. If you're looking for a great sports PT team, ooh, get that out, and you don't have one in your local area, just so you know, we see patients virtually through telehealth. So feel free to reach out to us online through our website at physicaltherapysanpedro.com. You can also reach out to us on Instagram. You can go into our link tree. You can contact us through Google, Yelp. You can find us anywhere. We would love to help partner with you if you feel like you don't have a great person on your team because you need one. We talked about that already. If you are just tuning in, if you're just new to our community and this is the first episode that you're listening to, we have 43 episodes of great information on our YouTube page in video form. We have all those episodes in audio form on our podcasts on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, anywhere where you listen, you can listen to us. We also have this blog in written form. If you're someone who likes to read all the details, it's written out for you on our website as well under our blog over there. And we have a lot of great exercises on our YouTube page. If you're looking for knee, hip, ankle, we just finished our hip series. And we did a knee series and an ankle series. So we have great resources on our YouTube page, our Instagram page with just things to help you navigate different injuries that you might be struggling with. So go check that out. And if you want to join our community, leave a comment. Let us know what you maybe want more information about. Share this information with your friends and family. That's how we get it out there and help people. So until next time, we will see you then. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.